Ladies and gentlemen, I know why you're here. You want to see if Mystery Tackle Box actually improved the quality of their product. Now, obviously, none of it's like their stuff, right? Some of the collaborations they do may be considered their stuff, but if you've seen one unboxing of these, you've seen them all. I would say 9 times out of 10, they're duds. I was pretty interested when they actually posted, hey, our stuff is actually better now. And I don't know about that one, but that's why we're here today. You'll see I have 2 over here. However, we are only taking a look at the Pro Box. Now, this is part of their actual subscription service, right? From the advertisements that I saw, none of it was actually like their go and buy them in a store boxes, but the boxes that they improved the quality of were actually their subscription-based boxes. Now, from what I've seen, if you've gotten the Pro Bass Fishing box, it's pretty much identical to what you were receiving in the subscription service ones. So I have some standards for this box. I really don't want to see any Guggen baits. I don't want to see any Guggen. I really don't want to see any 6th Sense. And I don't want to see weird shit. And when I say weird shit, I mean like color changing baits, because who in their right mind was actually ever using those? And if you were, sorry. I think they're gimmicky, right? So I've set forward my expectations for this. This Mystery Tackle Box, the Pro membership, I want to say it was $33. It was $33, and then if you subscribed for like 6 months or a year, it was like $28, $30 a box. I did the one and then immediately canceled my subscription because in general, I think these things are kind of bunk, and I would rather just go buy shit that I know I'm going to want to fish with. But without further ado, let's see if these new boxes are a slam or a scam. All right, so got you guys on the table. Let me just grab my knife out really quick. Now, unlike the ones you can buy right from the store, I don't think these ones advertise like a certain value, if you will. I think on the website, they actually did talk about the number of items that you could possibly get. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure online it was between like 6 to 8 or 6 to 9, I think. So online, I don't believe that they advertise like, hey, this box is worth $50 or $60. But what they do tell you is how many baits come in the box. I'm fairly certain these Pro ones come between 6 and 8 lures, but we'll see. But before we open this box, please go ahead down below, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers as soon as I can. These videos tend to do pretty well, so I want to make more of these ones. And that white package is actually the next one that I'm going to be reviewing. I'm pretty excited about it, but make sure you subscribe and click the notifications to make sure you don't miss that video when it does come out. I also just bought a boat. Go ahead and check out that video. I did try to go out today with it and kind of came across some problems, but that's for another video. All right, now that you're subscribed, let's open this. So I know the other ones kind of came with like a sticker pack and like, you know, a guide or whatever, but okay. Right away, I'm not very impressed because I see something I don't want to see. These 3/0. Actually, sorry, pause. These are actually 3/0 normal, like EWG hooks. A lot of the hooks that we got from the previous boxes had that weird like shape to them. These ones are a little unconventional, you might say, but I would actually use these, and they're 3/0. So that's a decent size hook to go fish some bigger bass and some bigger ponds or what have you. So we have what I'm assuming is supposed to be like a craw sticker. I mean, it's okay. I don't know, not much more to say about that. All right, so first lure slash plastic that we have is from Moondog Bait Company. Something I have noticed with these boxes is they will put this kind of stuff in here with no actual description of what it is. So if I went to this website, I would have to look through almost every soft plastic, you know, in their worm section just to maybe find the lure that I'm looking for. So taking a look at it, it looks like green pumpkin, which I don't know if my lighting will kind of reflect that. But it's green pumpkin on top and silver on the bottom. They almost look like trick worms. Pretty interesting. I think I would actually maybe fish with these, you know, if I was trying to maybe do some finesse fishing. But not bad. Made in the USA. We like that here. All right, so we got some Cabin Creek Express. Bleh.
What did he say?
We have some Cabin Creek Express bugs. 4.25 inches. These are black with a red flake, and they don't look like craws, really, but they are a creature bait, and I've never actually used black with red flake. If you guys have ever used it and they work for you, please let me know. These are from Cabin Creek Bait Company in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and they are also made in the USA. Kind of a trend we're hitting here. Things actually made in the US. So I'm a fan of that. All right, next thing we got is the Hail Mary from Fish Luck. It says world's luckiest tackle. We'll see about that one. But another bait made in the USA. So that is pretty rad. And this looks like this is a lipless crankbait. However, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell the shape of that. That is very, very unique. I'm kind of a fan of the pattern. I think it's more for show than anything else, but I actually like that. Hail Mary sinking model lipless crankbait is designed to be extremely long casting, 2.5 inches long and a medium to tight action. Hey, another bait made in the USA. We like that. We like that a lot. All right, so we have a jerkbait, a suspending jerkbait with some decent size hooks on there. This is the Intriguer 105 SP Strike Pro. Made in Taiwan. Hey, Taiwan is not China. I don't know if I offended anybody by saying that, but I don't care. This is from Strike Pro. Never really heard of this brand before, but I am a fan of bright orange and silver on the sides of a bait. And I don't really use, you know, jerk baits all too often, but I would consider throwing this one. Again, it looks pretty good. Not made in the USA, but you can't win them all, I guess. All right, last but not least, we have really kind of small crawfish. These are from X Zone Lures. So their tagline is literally small baits, big results. Ultra finesse BFS applications. There's 6, and these are in their tilapia. So it's telling you to either Texas rig it or Ned rig it. So these are made in Canada with American ingredients. So I like that. And I would actually very much like to fish with these crawfish. That's it. I'm gonna scan the thingy and kind of come back with a total for all the baits. All right, so I've totaled everything together. I have mixed emotions, and it's not for kind of the typical reason you would think, but let's get into the baits. First off, with our soft plastics, the Stealth Finesse Series scented craws, those came in at $7, $6.99 for the 6-pack. The Cabin Creek Express bugs, those come in at $8 a pack, so it's basically $1 for each of these Bad Larrys. Although, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
20 minutes later.
So there's only 4 in here. So I'm gonna say, because it's normally an 8-pack, I'm actually gonna say that those are $4. Our next soft plastic, these Moondog, what I thought were kind of trick worms. These are actually their finesse worms. They're called the Shizzle. And normally you get a 10-pack for $6. This is a 6-pack. And I totaled that kind of out to $4-ish. The Fish Luck Hail Mary. This one is, I can't remember the name of them. This is the only one that isn't actually like painted, you know, kind of like what a fish would actually look like. But I don't really care. I think it's a cool looking lure. These come in at just about $10. These Spear Point Classic EWG 3/0 hooks. I mean, I'll just say they're $3 for the 2-pack. You can't really buy 2-packs anywhere. I'm pretty sure they special package these ones for these mystery tackle boxes, but we're gonna count that as $3. All right, and finally we have our Strike Pro Intriguer 105 SP for a absolutely mind-boggling $18. I don't know who in their right mind would pay $18 for this, especially a lure that is not made in the United States. That is insane. Now, if any of you guys have used these before, please let me know in the comments, because I am hard-pressed to spend $18 on a single lure. I think that is almost completely unreasonable. However, if it gets results, then it gets results. I don't know because I've never used it, but this thing seemed to carry the cost of the entire box. So with this being $18, everything totaled up is $46, I believe. Yeah, $46. Now on their website, they do advertise 6 to 8 items, which we got 6 items here, and roughly a $40 value. If we take this out, then that total would drop to $38 for just these items, right? So I think I'm the reason why I'm iffy on this box is because 2 out of these 3 soft plastics that they give you don't actually have the sale number, as in the quantity in each bag, which I'm sure, you know, they're not really getting too much for giving these to MTB. However, if I have a bag that says 8 count and I only have 4 in here, like, where else did they go, right? Something I would kind of like to see in the future is, you know, actually include the amount of soft plastics you're advertising. These ones actually come with like the same quantity that is advertised online. These two don't. All right, so my final take here. I think the quality of items that they're giving us are better. I do. I really think that the quality of bait is getting significantly better, right? These hooks are made in Korea, so at least they're not made in China. And then this Strike Pro was made in Taiwan. However, everything else was made in the USA or Canada, you know, with American products is what they're saying. So quality has definitely increased. I will also tell you that I am happy that we didn't get any 6 cents. We didn't get any Guggen baits. And we also didn't get any shitty Catchco MTB collab baits, because every single time I fished with them, they've been awful. The soft plastics fall apart. The hooks lose their sharpness if you ding them off a single rock. It's just, they've been awful. I'm also happy about that. Now the downside to this, I would rather get 2 $8 or $9 like hard baits instead of a single $18 jerk bait. And I think if you're saying that you can get between 6 to 8 items, this is almost kind of a cop-out, because also if you're buying this box to get into fishing, you do not want to be throwing around an $18 jerk bait. It's cool that, you know, they're including different types of hard baits, but I don't want an $18 jerk bait, right? Give me, you know, give me a normal crankbait and then something I can throw top water, right? Because nothing here is going to be top water. So that's kind of my only qualm with this, what they've given us here. I don't want to see $18 jerk baits. I want to see $9 or $10 variety, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is going to do it for today's video. Go ahead down in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think of this box. I definitely want to hear about that $18 jerkbait if any of you guys have used any of these Strike Pro baits. Again, I've never heard of them. I don't think I've ever really even seen them before in stores, so I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right, well, that's kind of my take on the MTB Pro Bass Box, the subscription kind, and kind of how I feel about them advertising that their boxes are better. In addition, I want you to tell me which lure out of the ones that we got are your favorite and why. And based on that, I might just send them to you. I don't know. I don't think I would really fish any of these. So, hey, worst you can do is comment and then maybe win a free, I don't know, finesse worm or something. In addition to the comments, I'm actually gonna put a poll up on this video. And what I want you guys to do is vote on if you want to see me get next month's box as well, and then compare the two boxes. If that's something you'd be interested in, go ahead, vote on that poll right now and let me know. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. These videos are a ton of fun to make, especially when I get to give back to you guys and give you guys lures. So thank you very much. And of course, make today the best day that you can.